So let's talk about, you talked about the good stuff that's out there, the opportunities that are out there. Are there areas in the real estate market today that are less attractive and perhaps should even be avoided?
So I'll start with saying, I think as much as, here, internally with peers and my investment team, we often say, wow, it's unbelievable what the prices are for things, right? And we get, every time we see a new property sell and we say, wow, it went for that much, we think this is crazy, right? But we all agree, everybody I talk to who's doing this all day like I am, we all agree that the odds are much, much higher that 2 years from now, we'll be sitting here in August, September 2023, and we'll be saying, do you remember back in 2021 when you could buy real estate for that price? Because the odds are much greater that property values are going to be significantly higher 2 years from today than they are today. There's not many people, despite the kind of feeling in disbelief about where property values are going, there's very few quote unquote experts who really believe that a year or two property values are going to be lower. So I want to start with saying that when it comes to housing, that doesn't mean going and just paying any price for an asset makes sense. And being the highest price to buy an asset is not usually what you want a greatest strategy. And what people often forget about, it's why I said in the beginning, what matters is management and strategy. Managing housing is hard. It's not an easy business. So yes, you buy a property at today's price and you're really good at managing and you can keep it occupied at 94%, you can keep your delinquency down and you can keep your operating expenses down. Yeah, it can do really well, but those aren't easy things to do. And because values just keep going up, 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 there's many people out there who are jumping into this industry who don't actually know how to execute and manage. And that's usually when problems arise, less that they paid too much or bought a bad deal or the market changed, that they struggled to manage it. They struggled to execute. So that would be my caution in investing space, is that management is really, really important. When you're dealing with toilets and people, and it's hard. In terms of other asset classes, I'm far from an expert, but I would always encourage, and I know some people doing really great in office. Well, they're doing great in office because they're buying at major, major discounts. They're buying the best office building in a market at a crazy discount because everybody thinks office is terrible. Right? It's kind of like having the best manager. Well, if you own the best office building in a market, even if there's more supply than there is demand, if you have the best product and you can be competitive on rent because you paid a great price, you're going to still do fine. There's people doing really great in retail strategies. So as a general rule, yeah, retail is going to struggle. Office is going to struggle. Hospitality is going to be volatile. All these other asset classes don't have the consistency of housing does, especially in a recessionary environment. But with a great manager and a great strategy and purchased at excellent prices, they can be great places to be. And so I would just say, we're not in any of those asset classes, but I just say they can be really phenomenal because everybody thinks housing is great today. There's hardly anybody today. 10 years ago, people thought housing was riskier and office was the place to be, right?
Right.
All the big institutions wanted you to be in office, and that was the safe bet. Now office is thought negatively upon, and everybody's realized the stability that comes from housing. So I would just, say that be careful, right? I mean, is the Amazon effect real? For sure it is. Does that mean that no retail businesses are going to do well? Of course not. Does that mean that destination malls are going to struggle? Probably, right? But everything's location dependent and management dependent.
Starting your route to retirement.